Well, I guess we'll close out 2020 with a day full of rain, but hey, that's appropriate. It's been a rainy year, we've had difficulties, but hey, that's why people sell umbrellas. And I guess an umbrella salesman's happy on a day like today, but hey, 2020 wasn't all bad, and we've got a great year to look ahead to. PeeWee here. Welcome to Living in Liberty with PeeWee. We're so thankful you tuned into our channel. My name is Jason Lohorn. My wife is Nikki. We grew up here in DeKalb County, up in Smithville, Tennessee. We are now living in Liberty. I've been a pastor for about 20 years. Before that, I worked in the automotive industry for about 13. We have lived here, there, and everywhere. God has saw fit to bring us back to DeKalb County, and we are excited to live here in Liberty. And so this channel is going to be about small town rural things. If you like that, tune in. If you like things related to the church and Jesus, we're going to share some of that. Every now and then there may be a project, an adventure, things that I'm doing here at the church or just in town. Just tune in, relax. Hopefully you'll enjoy the content. And if you're from our area, you may know me as PeeWee. If you're from Kentucky, Ohio, and other places we live, you may not know that my nickname is PeeWee at all. But welcome to Living in Liberty with PeeWee. And if you're new to us, we're looking forward to getting to know you. Tune in, and hopefully you enjoy. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Well, here it is. We're closing out 2020. What a crazy year that it's been with the pandemic. Actually, earlier in Tennessee, we had tornadoes, then the pandemic, and the elections. Election years are always crazy, but it's been an up and down year for every single one of us. Whether you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. All of this has affected you in your life. And the hope is that you and I have trusted in God as we went through these times. Now, when we go through a year like 2020, and by the way, it's going to rain. There's going to be rain on our lives. There's going to be rainy days. There's going to be cloudy moments. When that happens, and we just had a lot of that, when that happens, you and I need to make sure that we don't demand that God explain why he does what he does or why he allows the difficulty that he allows. The moment you and I can just get over that and just trust God with whatever comes, understanding that the rain falls on the just and the unjust, and that it's not necessarily something that we deserve. God is gracious to us, meaning that he is gracious. He has his unmerited favor he gives us. And then there's times where, yes, he allows a difficulty to come into our lives to help point us back toward him. Sometimes you and I won't see God's will for our lives unless he allows the rain to fall. Now, I look back over my adult years. I spent 13 years in the car business, 20 years in full-time ministry, and I can look back and I can find some months and some years where it just seemed like God was silent. It seemed like nothing was going my way. It seemed like it was difficult. And when those times come, and when they have come in the past, if I will just slow down and remind myself, you know what, this is a great time to learn from God. You take a year like 2020 and all that we went through. What did you learn? Did you learn some things about yourself? Did you learn some things about God? Did you learn some things about the world? Listen, we can't trust in our world. We can't trust in our politicians. They do their best at times. Sometimes I'm not so sure. But you and I have got to trust in God. And sometimes, we go through a time like this, and it just points to the fact that we really need to trust our todays into God's hands, and we need to trust our future into his hands as well. As we look back on 2020 and we close it out, here it is today in Liberty. It is raining. It's a messy day. It's cold. And that's appropriate probably that we would close out a year like this with a day like this. But you know what? We're going to close this year out, and we're going to thank the Lord for the blessings of this past year. Some of you that are listening to this, you had children born during this year. You had someone in your family come to faith in Christ during this year. Some of you got that job promotion this year. If you're like me and my family, we have spent this year sort of reacclimating ourselves to DeKalb County. What a blessing that is. Rekindling old relationships and people that we've known for years. We see them, a lot of positives. Even though there's negatives, there's certainly been some positives. Listen, as we walk into 2021, we need to have a faithful expectation, and we need to be faithful to God, but we need to go into 2021 saying, God, whatever you want to do in my life this year, I'm going to be all ears. In fact, if we could learn to listen to him more and more, it would help us as we deal with whatever rain that comes or sunshine that comes as well. Listen, that's Living in Liberty for today. Be sure and check us out. Like our videos, subscribe if you can. Hit the bell to get notifications. But Living in Liberty with PeeWee. Thanks for tuning in.